today. I'm looking forward to it. Just got a little commercial before we start. We have implemented now, as far as an activity tracker, we have implemented activity commitment tracker. This is for you individually as you do classes, as you attend certain of your appointments and things. You can track what you're actually doing. If you look at something online, you can track it. And so we've included these. You can be on the back table, so you can grab one. All right. And the other is we have some excitement. We like to celebrate with our clients and our members, team members, about their great successes. And we have a fantastic success story today. And Anne, if you'd like to share your success with the class.
Yes.
All right, give her a hand. Give her a hand.
I am so happy because over the years I've had problems with my cholesterol. And I have tried, but I really haven't put all of my effort, I guess, into it. I've been eating and I've been exercising. But since being enrolled in this particular class, in November when I had my cholesterol checked, it was my overall cholesterol was 283. I started the program, my orientation class I think was in December, and I really got serious in January, I think around January the 7th. My cholesterol has gone down from 227 from 283 to now 227. Wow. And so that's about a 56 point. Yeah. My triglyceride has gone from 119 down to 83. My HDL from 73 to 67. My cholesterol HDL ratio was 3.88 in November. November, and now it's 3.39. My non-HDL cholesterol was 210 in November, now it's 160. And my LDL cholesterol was 168 in November, and now it's down to 143. So I am so excited, and I am so pleased. So I feel like it is my duty to go out and tell people about your program. I am so thrilled. And my daughter and my husband both are in the program. They're not as far along as I am, but my daughter says she has clarity now, more than she did before. And I don't know if she'll be here today, but she's trying, and they are in the transition period, whereas I'm almost, today is my 8th day in detox, and I feel excellent. My, as far as me being stiff and sore in the mornings, I no longer have that, so I have a lot to be thankful for.
Awesome! We want to celebrate your success because it's your life, it's your stories, and it's your team here helping you to achieve those goals you're looking to attain. So, fantastic. Great job, Annie. And so, without further ado, we're going to get our exercise class going with my beautiful, lovely wife, Coach Erin Fryer. Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. I am glad to see everybody out today, and congratulations, Annie. And one thing Annie didn't say, she's also telling, what is your exercise regime like?
Well, I walk every morning for at least an hour and 10 to an hour and 15 minutes. This week I haven't been able to walk because of rain, but I get up every morning, I do 30 minutes of exercise using a DVD.
Very good. Well, wonderful. Well, I say congratulations and celebrate your work in the program. And that's a wonderful lead-in to our class today. We're talking about exercise. I have a question. What's the difference between exercise and movement? Some people probably have heard of this. I don't know if they got remember the answer. You remember that?
Movement's where you just normally move around, and exercise is where you make a particular effort to exercise certain muscles specifically.
Okay, that's one. Plus the gyms can pay an enrollment for you to exercise, but they can't pay for you to just come and move. That's one of the main differences. It's a marketing difference, really. Because we were created to move. And we're not that I'm against gyms, I like gyms. I used to be a gym rat myself. But my season has changed, and movement is something that really works. And as Annie would say, movement. And everybody has their over-the-bench book and have a lot of things about exercise are listed on page 315 through the back of the book, through the, 315 to 320, something like that. And it just goes over, once again, the benefit of movement, okay? And also another resource that you have is the principles of exercise in your blue binder. If you have any questions, just raise your hand and we'll get to it, or if you have any issues or any questions, just let us know during this session and we will be glad to answer them for you. Does anybody know what the primary exercise that is supported through your principles of exercise in your book? Anybody remember what that's called? Just a little quiz. If you have your book, you can look at it. Dum, 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 dum.
Been watching too much television.
Actually, it's called Reclaim 24. And that is a form of a workout. And do you know what the focus of that workout is?
Wait.
Why do you use weights?
For building muscles,
Okay, why would you want to build muscle?
so they don't become an atrophy.
Okay, so you keep them, that's one reason. What's another reason?
They help you to have better metabolism overall.
What?
Your hormones work better in your blood system, and your circulatory, respiratory, on and on it goes.
Absolutely, wonderful. Everything works better when you have increased muscle. And the question may be, do you, in Reclaim 24, it's specifically designed for people who are interested in going to the gym to work out or have a weight system at home, because you will have pictures of the exercises being done. In the event that you do go to a gym and you need assistance from a trainer, most gyms have trainers that come as a part of your package. You can say, hey, I need to do this. Because everybody's not as familiar and maybe as what your desire and your goals are. So yes, building muscle is important. So strength training is one form of exercise. Does anybody know of another form of exercise that is also very beneficial?
Aerobics.
Aerobics, that's right. Yeah, you get your heart going, you're breathing, usually you're running, your aerobics, you're dancing, anything that increases the heart rate, increases your respiration rate. And why is it so important for us to breathe?
Breathe.
Yes. I got your attention, didn't I? It's essential for life, yes. And at what particular organelle in our cells delight when they get oxygen?
The lungs of the brain.
In organelles of the cell, we talk about it often. If you've come to Tai Chi, you've seen several in the picture on the inside of the cell, and it has a nickname. The powerhouse of the cell is the... And let's welcome Chelsea back in. Mitochondria. Very good. The powerhouse of the cell. And we learned during the last GMO talk, what is the importance of oxygen?
Stimulates the, just going blank.
And with blank, it called the stimulation. Actually, we get more of our energy.
Stimulates the lymph nodes.
Yeah, somewhat. Especially if you're doing movements that cause you to move and twist and move your lymph fluid throughout the body. But also, since the powerhouse of the cell needs oxygen, it's imperative for energy. more so than food. We learned during our last GMO talk, you get more energy, your body gets more energy from oxygen than from food. That may sound kind of crazy, but the whole system in our bodies, as Krebs life, draws that ATP energy from oxygen. So deep breathing is very important, so that means our aerobic exercise is very important. But I don't know about you, but you may be familiar with the fact that every so often there is the exercise. Just like every now and then there's the diet. Some people is keto, is paleo, is no vegan, no pescatarian, no flexitarian is what you need to do. No carb, high carb, low carb, high fat, no fat, low fat, fat free, you know. And you're like, what am I supposed to be doing? Because the answer is there's no one answer and there's no totally right answer. Because what are you in the process of building through this program? Does anybody remember? We talk about it in group especially. We want you to come away with your very own, absolutely, helping you tailor the plan that works for you based on your lab work, based on your body type, based on your situation. And that will entail taking what is the best for you. And it may not be the exercise of the day per se, because some people may do very well with something that's kind of old school, like jazzercise. Because what is the best exercise? That's it. The one that you do and works for you and work for what your goals are. And guess what? They may change over time, but what we want to equip you to do is to know when to change, how to change, and how to make modifications to maintain your personal gains. Fair enough? And especially with the weather like it is now, especially, it's nice to have videos that you can go to. It's nice if you're a mall walker. Sometimes if it's snowing, it may be kind of hard to get out, do something inside, do something that you can get your heart rate up without leaving the house. You might just be running up and down your stairs. That may be your stair climber, is you. Going up. So being able to be flexible. So that being said, the theory changed recently, and it used to be like, say, aerobic exercise. That 1 hour of aerobic, that's magic. That would do it for you. That would do it. But now they're saying maybe the better option is the combination called high-intensity interval training. High-intensity interval training, HIIT. You may hear that referred to, HIIT. And what is that? It's where you combine your strength training, your weight training, and your aerobics all in one in burst and increments. And before we're finished, I will show you a website that I use that has HIIT exercises presented for you, and they change every week. And it's wonderful because you can have a 15-minute session, a 22-minute session, or a 30-minute session. And you don't have to think about what to do. Because have you ever gone to a need to work out, and you get there, you're in your exercise room, like, okay, what do I do? What do I do today? And so if it's laid out beforehand, and better so, if someone's just leading you on the screen, I'm gonna just do whatever they do for 15 minutes, I'm done. Cool. It takes some of the effort out of it. So, HIIT. And now let me just go over a few things. We talk about, I say jazzercise, that's kind of oldie but goodie for some people. You might have something like Pilates, movement, and of course, Tai Chi. This is another way of combining, and we'll get more into that in a few minutes, about mind-body exercises, and we'll unwrap that phrase a little bit real soon. And we have also a 5-day walk plan. That's something you can do in your house, even if you need to walk, you want to walk, but it's inconvenient to get out of the house. Yeah, okay, exactly. And I own all of these, so I've at least done some of them at one point. And then Qigong, but with Lee Holden, those are my notes there, 30-day challenge. It's a series of 7-minute Qigong exercises. And then here's another individual that came up with some Qigong exercises as well. And it's a plethora of other things. But yes, keep on board the things that work for you. And it may mean experimenting. And once you get assessed by your physician or your primary caregiver, whoever that may be, then you can also find out what is in my best interest. For example, if you have some weaknesses in the body that's developing into strengths, you may have to modify what you do, but not necessarily avoid altogether. For example, my jumping jack days are kind of over just pounding on the ground. That doesn't work for me, feet or knees, but I can use a Bellicon. So everything that I jump, I use my miniature trampoline, and it works well. So I can kind of keep my hops going, and Dan won't be calling me old.
Security versus getting to the computer there.
No. They're updating, and they look to see when my computer is open.
Totally get out.
No. Oh, well, you can still see that. Okay, I'll just get back to this, and by the time I get back to that, they should be finished. But thank you. What was I saying? I was saying something very, very important. Yes, Belton bouncer, a bouncer, and something that takes the impact out of the jumping for me. So that may be something that works for you and something that you enjoy. And I can also even jog on that. That's great. Now, I brought a few things out that you may want to have in your arsenal. One of which is a good mat. Mat that is thick enough to give you the comfort that you need. And also, if you work out on carpet, oftentimes if you're working out on carpet and you don't have shoes on, your feet can slip fairly easily. A mat can help you keep from sliding because we want you to be safe in whatever you do. Safe and comfortable. Because as you know about Tai Chi, we don't use the no pain, no gain. When your body's in pain, it's telling you something. And that means listen. And you may also like weights. A lot can be done with barbells or dumbbells or bands. Now, I'm a little bit partial to bands because if you travel, you can take them with you. If you don't want the clutter of weights in your house, you can always have the bands. And pretty much everything in the workout, the Reclaim 24 system can be done with a band. Even if you're doing something like your press, bench press. And then if you have sensitivities, because sometimes it's a little bit harder to work out on your back, because that means you got to get on your back and you got to get off your back. So if even from a chair, I can do, and still get a nice resistance. You can feel it. And one thing about bands, you can adjust the resistance based on the day if you need to. Or the time of day, because sometimes if you're a little bit stiffer in the morning, you may need something a little lighter. But now by the time, noon comes, you might be full strength at that point, and you may, just decrease the length of the band, and you've adjusted your weight. And all of this can fit in your bag, your book bag, or, in your desk drawer or whatever. If you're in a situation where you sit a lot, you can always just have something handy like this. And the bands come in a variety of weights, variety of strengths, I should say. And some systems will even permit you to change them out as you need to. You will have something like this, and this is from Walmart, and you can look at it at the end if you would like. But it gives me the option of changing out the band or adding multiple bands at one time, and then it becomes additive. So that means I have one system, And the 17 y'all can work out on something with this and me, you know, and without getting multiple pieces of equipment. And if you want to see more examples, you can go to the YouTube classes, Erin space W space Fryer space classes, and that will be the first class we did for exercise, first and second class. So this is the third class. And not only will you see your exercise classes, but all the classes will be listed at that location. We used to give out the YouTube links, but that was not, it was kind of difficult for people to get into. But this will let you know everything that we have in our classes. So if you need an example, further example. All right. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Y'all are real quiet.
It's raining.
It's raining? Oh, I thought you were going to say it's because you were thinking.
Thinking of the raindrops.
Rain is very relaxing. And I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
That's a wonderful lead-in. We talk about the goal, especially in coaching, of you being able to develop your own health and wellness plan, tailored just for you. And one aspect that we really like, or I really like, about Tai Chi, it's mind-body exercise. Because sometimes, have you ever had the experience, and years ago it used to be a form of therapy, where if you're angry at something, you go ahead and punch it back. But they found out, after that, you're still angry. And yeah, exactly. So, you have done a lot of movement, maybe perspired a lot, maybe, you know, pontificated on it a lot, talked about it a lot, but nothing really changed. And it's still adversely affecting your body. So it's one organ in the body that we do not exercise very much, and it's not a muscle, but it dictates the effectiveness of everything else we do. Anybody know what that is? Brain. And more importantly, the mind. The mind. We spend a great deal of time on, like I said, the running. I'm nothing against marathon running or, you know, all of these things. It's wonderful. But there's a scripture that says, you know, some of that profits you little. And you're like, why can that be? Because if the mind is not, it's not going in the right direction, I can have the body of the Hulk or Hercules, but if the mind, I can still be sick on the inside. And through functional medicine, we've had several interviews and things like that just come along, and it'd be, you know, athletic people, I'm in shape, I'm running, blah, 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 blah. But then they look at their numbers and they say, I'm not healthy at all. The body looked good, but on the inside, because what dictates a lot of your hormones?
Your sense of well-being, your peace of mind.
Sense of mind, sense of well-being, and your emotional state. Because what is the underlying cause of all illness?
Stress and depression.
Stress? What kind of stress? We learned about different kind of stressors. I mean, yeah, but where do we get stress from in our lives? Physical?
Physical,
Mental?
mental, emotional.
Emotional? And you have relational stress oftentimes? So all of those stressors work on, adversely affect the body, adversely, or can be very beneficial to our hormones. So my question is, if that's so important, why don't we spend more time developing our mind? Sometimes I think it's part of a very sinister plot that follows not only tobacco, not only GMO, but now the new thing is 5G.
Putting all this information in that's not creating
positive zone for the body.
Absolutely, absolutely, because it's all about the
Money.
all about the money. All about the money. So I challenge you and encourage you, and I will share with you some information today to help empower you, empower yourself to think beyond the hype, the clutter, and the noise. Because really, let's face it, in our society that goes 24/7, divide, conquer, distract, and conquer, because the longer I can keep your mind busy with the this, that, and the other, and the clanging and the binging of your phone, and the television that never stops, the talk media that never stops, hundreds of television stations, YouTube stations, social media channels, it carries us away. So I can be mindlessly, even in the gym, running, walking, looking at the TV, whatever. Just as detached from who I am and what I am in my purpose, but I'm getting my heart rate up, right? Whatever. But now the challenge really is, and we learned about it in Tai Chi, that our thoughts can change our DNA.
DNA.
Yes.
Wow, that's deep.
That's real deep. And that's the last key thing people want you to be, is too deep when it comes to your health. Because you're going to stand up and say, wait a minute, don't do that. I don't want to live in a microwave. I don't want 5G. Because everything you hear about 5G is positive. Do you know why?
That's what they want to do.
It's a captured industry. What does that mean? Telecommunication on all of that. And I'm working on, that's something that's gonna turn into a teaching real soon, and we'll get that out. Just like with GMOs, is a captured industry by what industry?
The food.
Food industry, exactly. So if I'm selling junk food is gonna be the best thing in the world for you. Because it pays my bills quite well. So that being said, how do we teach ourselves to draw back? How to say enough is enough. Make space to develop on the inside. Because that's in essence the meaning of mindfulness. Being aware. Aware of your body, aware of your emotions, aware of those things that are threatening around us, and thinking long enough to come up with a plan. You might say, well, what does that look like? Well, this is a foundation for something that we're adding to the wellness program that Dr. Fryer brought up a few staff meetings ago, incorporating your life story in your health journey. Because oftentimes in our society, we treat things as silos. My physical health here, my work here, my play here, my spirituality somewhere over here, and nothing's connected. But you gotta understand the ground on which all that is built on is your story. And sometimes in the chatter, in the business, and in the everybody want to feel good all the time mindset, we push things away. Don't think about it. If it's bad, don't think about it. Just keep on. The Army used to have a saying, suck it up and drive on. But they fail to understand there's a saturation point. And when you reach your saturation point, you often go into ill health. The same with the body. And a lot of things came from our life, from the very beginning, oftentimes. And I'm not in the sense that, mental health, I've been that rat in here, I'm not saying to be like Freud and make everything a complex and blame everything on your mother. But what I'm saying is, we understand, and it's often disconnected. It's called an ACE study. And the ACE study is based on adverse childhood experiences and the impact it has even on our health today. But there's a disconnect. And what we want to do is help connect the dots. And through all of our classes, and we'll have where you're able to go through your timeline and go through with Dr. Fryer. He'll give you some ideas of, okay, wow, man, that may be where this is coming from. And sometimes it's not until you go back that you stop living the past in your present and your future. But then the other part of that is, sometimes we have been raised in a society that fears emotionality. Just feel good. Because basically, why do people drink? To feel good. Because in all honesty, in our society, it's more socially acceptable to drink than to say, look, I'm struggling. I'm having a hard time. I need to talk to somebody. I need some help. And so we want to help equip you. Not only, yeah, get physically fit, yeah, lose your weight, yeah, get some, six packs abs if they're in there, or even if it's a keg, a smaller keg, turn that keg to a gallon jug. I mean, just do what you know. That's important, but at the end of the day, your mind. If you're still battling yesterday, yesterday becomes your today and your tomorrow. And also helping people, because sometimes people say, but if I look back there, I might not be able to handle it. So what I would like for you to do now is pull out this handout. It's called Letting Go. And it shows you how to incorporate items. And I'll show you, I'll tell you, well, you can see where this handout came from, but let me see if they're finished with our computer yet. Maybe when I shut them out, maybe they got the hint that I was on it, I don't know, we'll see. It looked like they did. Let's see. Is this making sense?
Yeah.
Yes. Is this helping anybody?
Oh, yes, amen.
Help me get it out of
What's that? I'm sorry?
Help me get the mind straight.
Exactly, your mind. Because really your mind is one of the most important elements in your life. Not just your health and wellness, but your life. And I'll take you to this mindful exercises. I'll just put that, I might have to revisit it again. Oh, did it? Okay. Okay, it'll be back in a minute. But letting go. Sometimes we're holding on to things that translate into weight, that transitions into heart disease, diabetes, anxiety, depression. And so this is mindfulness exercises as listed at the bottom, and it has some excellent teaching. And one of the handouts that I thought was very helpful was letting go. Because oftentimes we are where we are because we're holding on to where we've been. Not because we want to, but we don't know how to release it and stay sane or stay alive. And I'm not saying that in a joking way, but some things have people jumping out the window or doing stuff because they're overwhelmed. Because how many times have you had a class that teach you how to handle difficult things? I was in the class, you just said it didn't exist. I mean, that was just, I was in the era what happens in the home, stayed in the home. Good, bad, otherwise. And I just know, I'll just be honest, in the African American community, mental health did not have a positive stigma. It did not have a positive image. I was not too far away. I was in Columbus, Georgia, and there was a Tuskegee study. Anybody know about that? In the name of healthcare. And so it's no mystery. Everybody know about the Tuskegee study? Somebody, who
Syphilis.
they gave a lot of the black soldiers that were being serviced through Tuskegee syphilis. And they were part of an experiment. And they were not informed. Do you know something scarier? We're all in a study that has not been proven. It's 5G. That's military grade radiation. It has not been tested. Why has nobody said anything? Because the people making the biggest money. Yeah, telecommunication industry. Just hold your hat. There's more to come from that, but I'm just making the point. It's very helpful and imperative for our long-term health and well-being to be able to process the past. And one of the things is letting go. Sometimes people say, you just gotta let that go. But now, this is a way of how. Say, by relinquishing our grip on things, we allow ourselves to see the world with new eyes. Letting go allows us to be more objective, to relax, to reflect, and to heal. There are many things to let go of, and many ways in which to do so. These skills and techniques all lead to a healthier and happier emotional life and a renewed sense of our real place in the world. That's profound. Because really, what do we really want to do?
Be happy.
Be happy. And what does being happy mean?
Be in a good place with yourself.
Okay? What does happiness mean to you, BG?
Happiness to me means being full of joy.
Full of joy? What about you, Glenn?
Being content with life and with myself and with God.
Amen? Val?
Amen.
Over it all?
Now,
Happy now. That's what it means to be happy. But what does it mean to be happy? How would you define happiness?
Just, I try to find joy in everything that I do, no matter what it is. And circumstances come along, but I don't let it overtake my emotions. Because a lot of times it can do that. So I'm content with where I'm at, I'm happy with where I'm at, I'm happy with my life. And serving God is one of the things that got me to that point.
Wonderful. All right, anybody else want to chime in on what happiness is for you?
Coach, I just have to say, boy, it's just filling up with joy because it's just something about it. You can have the worst day in the world, but if you put your mind in the right set, that joy will kick in every time. And that happens, so just like a slippery slope. Comes, goes, just shoots all over the place. But that joy seems to stick with you for a while.
Exactly, because like happiness oftentimes is based on happenstance.
Yeah, that's very good.
But joy is your baseline. Regardless of what's happening, I choose joy.
Yes.
So, the summary, these many skills help you to let go. And it says the body. As we study in Tai Chi, we focus on one of the first things we learn in Tai Chi is how to
Breathe.
And when you breathe, what does that stimulate? It triggers what?
Oxygen intake.
Oxygen, and what else happens?
Carbon dioxide
Energy.
outtake.
Yes, energy, and what else?
It makes us
Relaxation.
supposed to smell the roses and blow out the candles.
Okay. And then also, as Bob had said earlier with deep breathing, you also increase your lymph fluid mobility, and that's the garbage that need to be taken out. And then you add motion, you like the dish rag, wringing out those impurities to go through the liver to be detoxified. Since now you're going through your detox and your liver is optimal functioning, so it all fits together, right? So
My breathing coach told me to to breathe in through my nose till my stomach expanded, count to 4, and exhale through my mouth.
Very good, very good. Deep breathing, absolutely.
It does.
And then your cells do the happy dance because they're getting the energy that they need to do what they do, okay? Now, so this session, if you can see on letting go, we're still on the letting go handout. It should just have letting go at the top. Yeah. Because actually you have three.
Where are you reading from?
The very top.
Oh,
You should have,
Okay.
it's three handouts. There's one, the longest handout is in the bottom. Okay, see the two boxes, staff? See the two boxes? There's one going to be letting go.
I got it now.
Okay, and then letting go of your story.
Got that one. Yeah, got that one.
I've got two of letting go of your
That's
story.
it, girl. I got it now.
I got two letting go of my story.
Yeah, we have two of the same.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, and then you should have mindful design. You have mindful design?
I only have one letting go story.
Okay,
I have the one letting go.
okay, which don't you have?
Letting go.
Letting go.
Letting go.
Letting go, okay?
Letting go.
There you go. And then letting go.
Oh, it's a different one.
Oh,
Uh-huh. Thank you. Thank you.
Now we're on the same page.
Okay, thank you. I came with a bunch of goodies today.
Good.
Okay, so now, letting go. And as you will see, there's a body component to letting go, consisting of deep breath awareness, and we talked about breathing in Tai Chi. Diaphragmatic breathing, we covered that. And bellows breathing, that's a specific technique. You can look further into that if you want to. We might show that during one of the, before the end of this class, perhaps. We'll see. Just put a pin there. And then progressive relaxation techniques. And doing heart math, that's another form of being able to monitor how your body is responding to stress. And it's just a little bitty machine. I've been certified to do heart math, and it works with children and with adults. And it helps people gain control not only of their body, but more importantly, their heart rate and relaxing. And it's been used with law enforcement, the military, to help diffuse some of the stressors and teach people how to diffuse stress quickly without just sweeping it under the rug or drinking it away. And when you have control over your body and the emotions that leads to responses, you're a powerful person. Like a walled city. I read that somewhere. Walled city. A well-disciplined person is like a walled
Yes,
city.
that's right.
And the opposite is also true when you are a reactor, when everything pushes your button. You're out of control. But when you're a walled or a fortified city, or able to hang on to your joy, or when there's troubling things that happen, to quickly recapture the joy that is threatened, you are a powerful person. Your body is powerful because you are strong from the inside out. Okay? Now also, not only the body, but then the mind. Identify from where wrong thoughts come. These facets of the personality may be the result of past trauma. Listen to them. Comprehend what they say, and then quiet them. Try your best to realize intention. Now, intentionality, being purposeful of what I think, choosing what I think. Have you ever been in a house, especially if it was late at night, and maybe you were there by yourself, and you heard something? How quick does it take for that story to grow into there's an intruder? Well, that's probably 5 intruders. Well, I probably need to plan my escape now. I need to run, get the gun, and you're figuring out now how soon it's gonna take me to get out. Or like, oh man, I'm upstairs and there's one way out. How am I gonna hide up? You know, the mind just takes you, and your body can go as well. What does your heart start doing? And before you're in a whole panic, and you find out it's just nothing. It was something outside, or a branch fell off a tree, or something. And you're like, ooh, okay. So that is the story you were building for yourself in that moment. In each moment that we're in daily, we can come up with multiple stories that can adversely affect our health. Thinking, oh man, it's raining. Wow, car accidents increase in the rain. Wow, am I going to get home safely? Or I have loved ones traveling. Are they going to be safe today? Da, 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 da. And it goes on and on and on and on until we bring every thought captive. Yes, captive to that which we know is true. And do not react until we know it's fact or respond.
Oh, that's deep.
Don't react until you know it's fact. And in the meanwhile, stand on the truth, even when that fact comes in, and determine if your truth is still able to keep you as a walled city. So you hold on to your joy, even in the midst of maybe tragedies happen, tragic news happen. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm saying we have a way of handling them so they don't handle us. Okay? And so, argue with your own thoughts. If something comes up in your mind that you know is wrong, instead of ignoring it so that it can fester, confront it mentally. Okay? It's okay. Because a lot of times when people do a timeline of their life, they will see things that are more alarming when they see it on paper and they're able to connect the dots. Because they can say, ooh, I know exactly where that came from. And at the drop of a hat, or even before the hat falls, that scenario can start replaying in the mind. You can be there. You can be there, you can have the same feelings, you can hear the thoughts, the smells, whatever. But then, let those thoughts come. But now this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take control of my body. I'm going to breathe deeply. Tell myself the truth. I'm not there now. I'm looking at it. I'm unpacking it. I'm going to gain the strength that event, experience brought. I have that with me. I'm diffusing the rest of it. I have no need to run from that any longer because I'm here now. I'm looking back. I'm bigger now. I'm stronger now. I can acknowledge, yes, this is where that eating potato chips at midnight came from. This is where my infatuation with chocolate ice cream or cookies or whatever that is, we talked about in group the story behind what we do oftentimes, especially our intake, especially our food. What does that mean? What is that relationship? How can I move on? I can move on by taking control of my body, my mind. Because when I'm in control of my mind, my body does what I tell it to do. My hormones do what my body tells it to do. My mind does what my body tells it to do. And I'm control. I am a fortified walled city. You say, let it come. And then you say, bring it on. Because I'm here to gain every ounce of strength that experience delivered to me. Maybe want it or not want it. But I'm claiming the gift of that experience, not only for me, but to incorporate into my character that which it had placed there in the beginning. Whatever it is. And guess what? What you placed there is not, what was placed there or deposited there is not by mistake. And being very intentional in how we handle that and moving from there so that we can help someone else. Because the very thing that gave us victory and strength is what we can draw and give victory and strength to other people.
That's right.
No man's an island, right? So, and then also it goes on to the self and the wants. Because once we understand that timeline, what we're going to do in group, you have a chance to look back. Now you're going to have a chance to reconstruct your future because that's yet unwritten. But the page is before us. Every time we have a day, that's a new page, a new opportunity. And we get the mercies that are new every morning. It sharpens that pen, that refills our ink well, so we can write what we want and create what we want. So I'll let you go through the rest of that as you would like. That gave me kind of push you off how you use that. Then let's go to, well, it's 4:10. Let's do this. Let's go to mindful life design. That's the longer. I have holes and a staple for you so you can keep it all together. Mindful life design. Mindful life design. And then I will incorporate letting go of your story. So I'm going to cover 2 worksheets at once, but just focus on this one. Okay? Mindful life design. Oftentimes, I think we are apprehensive about addressing our past because we're uncertain about what to do about it. And oftentimes we're saying, oh, just forget about it. Move on. Just forget about it. But really what you're telling people, oh, just apply the Alzheimer's principle. Selective memory loss. I'm like, I ain't praying for that. I want to remember everything I'm supposed to remember because if I go about forgetting certain things, I might get it where I don't know my name, and that's not good. You might lose hold of the things you're supposed to remember because you're too busy ducking and dodging trying to forget this and that. No, remember it all. Remember it all, lay it out, look at it, because it's just like light. When light comes into a room, a dark room, brightens everything, you can see everything. Then you can clean. It's hard to clean a dark room. Sometimes it's hard to clean the cluttered room with the lights on. But you gotta see what you need to clean. You can't even know what to throw away if you're in darkness. You know you're falling over, but you don't know if it's to go or to stay. So turn the lights on. It's okay. Now, mindful life design. This is a handout that, especially once you do your timeline, and if you want to do a timeline with Dr. Fryer, just ask the reception there to help set you up with an appointment to do so. It says, I think I have seen the Western mistake. You were very able to distinguish things, but you are unable to put all things together. If you continue in this way, you will never be able to repair this. That's by a Chinese physician, Ho Yang. There's a reason we have the word remember. Remember. You are reassembling that which has been dismembered. Remember. So it's not a bad word. Sometimes people say, no, you forget about the things behind you. I said, you got to take that in the full context. And if you look at that, Paul had to remember his past because that was his testimony. If he had forgotten all of that, he would have disempowered his whole stance. If it was just, look at me now.
Where'd you come from?
Because that's part of you. And believe it or not, every cell has a memory of your journey. Every cell reproduces after its own kind. Therefore, you say, I'm not that scared little kid or this or that. I'm not that food-deprived person. You have cells in your body that are reproducing after that scenario. And until you relieve them of that responsibility, they will continue to do so. That's powerful. So, and that's one of the reasons we are able to, by our thoughts, reorder our DNA. So just because mama and daddy had a blah, 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 that don't mean we're going to have a blah, blah. Only if we continue to do what they do and think as they thought, we will get what they have. Okay? Now, so our biology does not have to become our biology. Okay? Our biology. It doesn't have to dictate how we function from a cellular level. Okay? Now, all right, mindful life design. Have an introduction there. But every stage, you gotta take inventory, life now. What is your life's work? What is the public identity you currently have? Who are the people who are close to you? What are the domains of action in your life now? What are you current? What are you current unresolved breakdown in all areas of your life? So just really, this walks you through how to look at how do I want the rest of my life to be from here on. Okay? That's a very, very big piece in health and wellness. Lifestyle. As a life coach, it's not just your health. It's not just your work. It's your life. Everything and all of the elements have a place. So as you are going through the mindful life design, letting go of your story will help you examine the stories you currently believe about yourself, others, or the world. Question their validity and practice letting go of them. So what does that mean? When you look at your life, your lifeline, there's a story. But then you may realize that there was a story that came from when you were a child. But as an adult, you look at that story, you can see other perspectives. As children, we usually, it must be me. Something about me just wasn't right. It wasn't me. It was something about me that caused all this. But when you're an adult, you might say, you know what? Now to come to think of it, these were the issues in my family. I could not verbalize them, but this is what was going on because you're looking back as a stronger, wiser person. You have more facility to assess the situation and change the stories. And a lot of times it boils down to everybody was doing the best they could, the best they knew at the time. Because we're all human, we all, you know, yeah, it might have been bad, it may have been rough, it led to this, that, and the other, and other choices that I made in my life. But you know what? I'm going to just release it, I'm going to let it go, and just believe everybody did the absolute best that they could. And as we write our present and our future, how can I do the best I can, the best I know, and how can I continue to learn more? So, this may have been a little bit different than your exercise class, but I think it's an element of exercise we do not address. We talk about mind-body exercises and the importance of deep breathing and the movement and everything, because when you do those movements in Tai Chi and Qigong, we are giving the opportunities for those cells to express the emotions that they carry. We slow the mind and the body down long enough to think deeply enough that we can bring the thoughts captive, because sometimes when our thoughts race, it's hard to capture them because they can be all over. And sometimes the people refer to it as a monkey mind. They're just cluttered. That's why slowing the body down, you purposefully move slow to match the flow of your internal movement, the cells of your body, the spirals. Because if you know, your red blood cells do not flow in a straight line. They spiral. Why? They have a little concave this, that concave this, and they don't shoot through like water. They spiral. They spiral and they tumble. Yeah. So, and when you're spiraling, you're mirroring those type motions as well. Breathing deeply, slowing down, getting centered, focused, and relaxed. And as El Greco said, really capturing the now. I'm here, I'm now. There's no time like now. And resting in the fact that I have now. Everything is in order. Everything's lined up. I am grateful. And all is well and getting better all the time.
Yes.
So it's a really, really, really deep science behind a lot of your mind-body type motions. And I told you I'm going to take you to one other site. It was about the Fit Era. I'll just take you there right quick. And this is a wonderful site, and both of these sites are free. And it will do things like give you if you want to record your meal plans, you have an opportunity to do that. And it gives you instructions of how to do it. And then it will give you like meal one, and you can add what your carbs, your starches, and all that kind of stuff, and keep track of that if you would like. You also can have a daily workout here. And it's really nice because, like I said, it takes the heavy lifting, it takes the thought out of it. Let's hope it jumps back for me. Let's see. Am I gonna play? Maybe not. There you go. And it also has modifications, and it will show you what you're going to cover. And it works your major muscle groups, and then it works your additional major
Thanks for
muscles.
joining us for today's workout. I'm so glad you're here. Today we have Coach Pam, who's going to show you how to do each of the exercises with her own body weight and with dumbbells, including ways to modify each exercise to your fitness level. So if any of the exercises are a little too easy, she's going to show you how to make them a little more challenging. And then we have super success story Ken here. He's going to be doing exercises both for body weight and resistance bands. And he's also going to show you how to do the exercise a little bit easier, just in case any of the exercises are too challenging. So please refer to either Pam or Ken as we go through this workout and modify it to your fitness level. And just be sure to use really good form, do your best, and let's get after it. So this exercise is called squats, and it is for your entire leg, your quadriceps, hamstrings.
So as you can see, he explains
Get started. You want your
why he
feet
does what he does.
width apart, and then you want to just squat down and stand back up. It's really important that your knees do not go farther forward than your toes, so you really want to sit back. Now, if this is a little bit too challenging, you can use a chair like Ken's doing, and to make it even easier, you can just do partial squats, so don't go all the way down, just like that, or you can even do what's called isometric squats. So you're just squatting down and holding, just like that. And Pam's doing it with resistance band. She's just stepping on it, grabbing the bottom of the resistance, so there's good resistance, and you can see her knees aren't going further forward than her toes, and she's squatting back. And she can also use dumbbells for this exercise. Same foot position, she would just have dumbbells by her side. Great job, guys. Now let's go on to 1
And
minute
also,
cardio.
then like I said, then they have the cardio section in there, and it gives you ideas of what to do during cardio. But also, how do people like to cook? Yes. They also have on here, let me see, here we go, recipes. And different, recipes that will not only give you what's in it and all that kind of stuff, your ingredients, your nutritional profile and notes, and then give you a direction of how to prepare it. And they also have motivational type sessions, and they also, for people who like competition, they have periodic challenges that you can tap into, and it keeps you motivated. On the left side, you'll have like the community, my meals, my workouts, my goals, and then if you have support questions. But yeah, I found this to be a very, very nice free site that just removes, like they takes the thought piece out. What do I do today? How do I vary it? And also on your, under your exercises, you have the overview of your workout videos. If you're wondering any more information about what's presented, you can find it there. And resistant training exercises, they tell you what they are here. So you'll say, what's resistance, what's a cardio exercises. They'll list them for you right there. So if you just want to go down, I said, okay, I just need 3 cardio exercises that I want to focus in on or whatever. There they are. And stretch routine, that the video, nice to do after your workout or after you kind of warm the body up a little bit. And then video archives. If you say, well, this week I'm just not so fond of what's presented, I can go to another week that may be more to my liking. So that is one of a site that I use and I've been very pleased with for the last few years now.
Is the site listed on
It's actually in your book.
the,
If you look, or it's called, it's just fitera.com. And it's on page, let's see, in your, I saw it earlier today. Okay, on page 33 when it says anaerobic cardio workout, you'll see at the bottom, it's listed as Fit-Era, a daily hit for a home interval training. Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns? And I welcome your feedback and see you on the next activity for me. Actually, it's going to be Tai Chi on the 29th. Yep, from 10 to 12.
What day is that?
It's a Saturday, 10 to 12. And it's part of your wellness program.
Great, thank you. All right, so you guys have learned a lot of great things, so, we're here for you.